Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another Portage Daily Register Sports Webcast. We'll get to a couple area stories in a minute, Travis, but I think the story that's on everybody's mind in Wisconsin this week, Packers and Bears for the NFC Championship game, Super Bowl berth on the line, 182nd meeting between these two rivals is easily the biggest in their storied history. Travis, let's hear your take on the game Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt. To tell you what, the Packers are really flying high. They were really impressed me against the Falcons, and especially Aaron Rodgers. I've never seen him play that well, and haven't seen many quarterbacks play as well as he's playing right now. And that's why I think maybe the Packers have a slight advantage. Is you can't overestimate what a quarterback can do for a team. And I think the Packers clearly have the better quarterback if you compare him against Jay Cutler. So I think there's an advantage for the Packers in that area. But another area where the Bears have a big advantage is special teams. Although the Packers' special teams has been much improved, it's going to be a big deal to keep the ball away from Devin Hester. He's pretty dangerous. So I think they could kind of make up for some of that in special teams. And they got a pretty good kicker who was really good at kicking on that sloppy field, which, speaking of that sloppy field, that's kind of been a story that I don't know if it's grass, it's kind of yellowish brown color or whatever it is, but
More like mud.
what do you think? Do you think that the field's going to be at all a factor?
I don't think the field will be much of a factor. Obviously the Bears have a little bit of an advantage playing 8 games, 9 with the playoff last week, playing at home there. But, I think the Packers are they're so efficient on offense right now that I don't think that will faze them much. They're balanced, and I think they'll be able to overcome the field. I think the biggest key for the Packers this week is just going to be don't make mistakes. They were able to get away with a couple last week and still win, but I think the Bears will be able to take advantage of Green Bay's mistakes, and their defense is probably a little better than Atlanta's in terms of slowing down the Packers' offense. And I agree with you. I also think special teams is an area where the Bears can maybe make up for not being as good as Green Bay offensively. But don't forget, the last time these two teams met in the fourth quarter with the game on the line, one-score game, Green Bay's punter, Tim Mistay, was able to pin the Bears deep twice in a row and really make it difficult for them to try and move the football. And I think that was really the difference in the fourth quarter there. The Bears had to go a long field. But, at the end of the day, much like you, I think the Packers are just too hot right now. And it's really going to take, the Packers beating themselves in this one for them not to win. I'm going with Green Bay. I think the Packers are going to get to the Super Bowl. Probably going to be a little closer than maybe some people think, but I think Green Bay's the team to beat in this one.
Yeah, I would say a late field goal, like I like to say, is going to be the difference, but I'll give them the W.
In the other game, the Jets, I don't think were a team that many people expected to be in the AFC title game, at least not having to get past New England last week, but they were able to do that. Pittsburgh beat Baltimore, able to come back in that game. Really an impressive, it helped, I think, that they're at home, but an impressive comeback for Pittsburgh. Jets and Steelers, probably not as exciting of a matchup, on paper as Green Bay and Chicago, at least with the storylines. But Travis, what do you like in that one?
Yeah, this is a rematch from late in the season that the Jets won in Pittsburgh, so they know they can go there and win. I've been picking against the Jets all this year, even all last year. I picked them, and they put a little run together in the playoffs, and I'm going to pick against them again for similar reasons to the Green Bay game. I think if you look at the quarterbacks, Big Ben Roethlisberger's won 2 Super Bowls, versus Matt Sanchez is he's won some playoff games, but he hasn't gone to places where Roethlisberger's gone. So Steelers got an advantage with the quarterbacks, and I just feel that the Jets have already played their Super Bowl last week and beaten the Patriots. They just spent so much time and energy to beat their biggest rival that it's almost like obviously this is a bigger game, but it's almost like it isn't. So for them reasons, I'm going with Pittsburgh.
I'll say this: I won't be surprised if the Jets win. They've played 2 incredible games back to back, games that a lot of people thought they would lose, and they were able to win those games. I think the difference in this game is the Steelers' defense is probably as good as any defense that the Jets have played, maybe since they played Pittsburgh's defense, in towards the end of the season there. I don't think New England poses the same challenge defensively as Pittsburgh will this week.
Right.
And unless Pittsburgh comes out and, and just doesn't play up to their potential defensively, I don't envision the Jets being able to score enough points to win this game. And obviously the Steelers, like you said, with Roethlisberger, will find a way to score 21 or 24 points, enough to win this game with their defense. I'm going with Pittsburgh. Green Bay and Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl, and if that does happen, that's two blue blood franchises in the NFL that I think a lot of people around the country can get on board and really enjoy. But they play the games on Sunday. We'll see what happens. A couple local stories that we mentioned we're going to get to right off the bat, Travis. Up in Wausau last weekend, the Portage boys and girls curling teams had some success. Why don't you talk about their success last weekend?
Yeah, really the Bonspiel up in Wausau it's one of the oldest and one of the most prestigious high school curling events in the state, and right up there with the actual state meet, which happens later on. And Portage went up there and basically owned the Bonspiel. The Portage boys actually brought two teams up, the Ben Vorpal rink and the Jake Schreiber rink, and they ended up playing through all the way into the championship and playing each other. So they took first and second, with the Vorpal rink beating the Schreiber rink in the championship. So that was the third time in 4 years where a Portage boys team has won that meet. So congrats to them. And then if that wasn't enough on the girls' side, the Katie Duberstein rink for Portage won the girls' championship. So Portage really dominated the weekend. So congrats to them. And also a shout out to the Portage girls basketball squad. They're kind of riding a little bit of a hot streak. They're 6-6 now, and they've actually won 4 of their last 6, including their last 2. They beat Oregon 52-41, and then probably the biggest win in recent memory of the program came on Saturday when they beat DeForest 56-49. And like Coach Brian Connor said, he's not sure when's the last time they beat DeForest. I looked back 9 years; they never did in 9 years, and I'm not sure they've ever beat DeForest. So DeForest has been a strong program over the years. So congrats to them. Maybe they're kind of turning the corner.
And DeForest is a team that I know a lot of the coaches felt would be able to contend for the conference title this season. They might have one of the top, they do have one of the top players, maybe the best all-around player in the conference, in Sahar Rasad. So yeah, like you said, that's a great win for the Portage girls basketball team. And a couple nights ago on Tuesday night in Rio, the girls, the Lady Vikings, big game for them against Deerfield. 3 teams at 4-0 in the conference to start the night. The Lady Vikings weren't able to overcome 29 turnovers in this contest, and really made it difficult on themselves to get going. And Deerfield, just played a little too well offensively. Jesse Stein and Kim Albright. Steen in the first half had 13 of her 16 in the game, and then Albright 16 of her 24 in the second half. So, and then when you turn it over 29 times, that makes it a little...
It's probably remarkable it was even as close as it was to turn it over almost 30 times.
Right. But the nice thing for the Lady Vikings is they get to play Fall River on Friday night, who is 5-0, leading the conference now along with Deerfield. The Vikings 4-1 behind those two teams. The Vikings get to play Fall River on Friday, a chance to get right back in the race. And if they don't win that game, it's still the first half of the conference season. All these teams are going to play each other a second time around. And you have to imagine that conference race is going to go right down to the wire between those 3 teams. And I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up a couple of those teams, or maybe even all 3, sharing that conference title. So that should be an exciting conference race to follow in the Southern Trailways this season. Keep an eye on how the Lady Vikings do coming down the stretch and on Friday. And obviously on Sunday, everybody, hopefully you can get somewhere, watch the Packers. Hopefully they get by the Bears and get into the Super Bowl. And it'd be great for the state of Wisconsin for a number of reasons. But I know you and I will be watching the game. Travis, hopefully a week from now when we talk to y'all again, we'll be talking about the Packers in the Super Bowl. Until then, everybody take care.